preview. So, okay, so we'll get started. Adrienne Garland, please share what you do and what brings us here together in this moment.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on this live stream. This is, I think, great for anybody who's an entrepreneur. Here I am trying new things. And I think that that's a really important message, even if you're uncomfortable. And I am certainly uncomfortable. I am still here doing it. And even though we ran into a couple of glitches, I'm happy to be testing out this marketing tactic. And my name is Adrienne Garland, and I'm the CEO of She Leads Media. And what we do is we provide content, actionable, practical content for women entrepreneurs and leaders in a variety of ways. The first of which is our annual She Leads conference, which this year is taking place on October 26th in New York City. And I'm beyond thrilled because we have a presenting sponsor, and that sponsor is the Cunningham Group at Morgan Stanley. And this group is in such direct alignment with She Leads Media. It is a group of women financial advisors who have a presentation called Her Way, The Power of the Purse. And it's all about defining your goals and objectives for your life, and then using investing and being smart about your money in order to achieve those goals. So I can't wait to have the conference at Morgan Stanley and have everybody benefit from listening to all the really super practical advice that the Cunningham Group is going to offer. So yeah. And then the other part of She Leads Media is we provide custom marketing consulting services to women-led businesses who are looking to take their business, their marketing, their business development, their PR and visibility to the next level.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. And for anyone who doesn't know me, owner and co-founder of Dressing Roommate. Dressing Roommate is a coaching and consulting business, primarily women entrepreneurs and creatives who are looking for action, kind of like you, but in focusing in their mindset for how they're approaching business. How organized are they? The types of social media initiatives that they dive deep into, and also just kind of getting out of your own way. I think a lot of times and primarily I would say I like to work with startups, and the biggest thing standing in your way is usually you. And so really kind of, just kind of getting that mirror and putting it in front of these ladies and saying, look, you see yourself, stop the nonsense. Move out of the way.
This is why I love you.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm excited to be a speaker at She Leads 2018. So I've been a fan for a while, and so this will be my first year speaking. So this is going to be a banging 2018. And with that, I think we should dive again deep in to what we're supposed to be talking about today, which is how to make your business your #1 client. Because especially for both of us, right? We are in the business of servicing other businesses, so client-based businesses, meaning that we wake up and we're thinking about our clients and what their needs are and what we need to do for them. But then also we're running a business. So, what do I need to do to market? What do I need to do to get that next client? What do I need to do to broaden my knowledge base? So how do you manage everything? And so the #1 thing is, Adrienne, do you feel like you currently have been mastering putting your business as your #1 client? And if not, why?
Such a great question. And this is something that you and I spoke about last week or 2 weeks ago. Really taking the time to take a step back and be a little bit more strategic, and really exactly what you said, making you your #1 client. So have I? Absolutely not. Have I begun to take steps in order to become a master or a masteress? Yes. And one of the things that I did, that was not difficult, but it put me in a different mindset, was that I am very organized when it comes to my clients and the way that I have everything set up on my computer. And I have different folders for different clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not have a folder for She Leads as a client. So the first thing that I did in order to shift my mindset, which that comes first,
yes,
is I created a client folder called She Leads Media. And I have been really taking a step back and saying to myself, a lot of the great strategies, ideas, and suggestions that I'm giving over to my clients, I need to also put those into a spreadsheet or a document for ideas for She Leads. So that has been really mind-opening for me. And I think that that is going to be something that's going to help me take my business to the next level, because with that focus, right, that is where my mind is, and it's my, you know, it's my client. This is my client. And I think another really great way, a really great, you know, mindset technique is when you separate your self from your business, you can be more objective and make smarter decisions.
Absolutely.
One of the, another person who actually happens to be my client, they're called Let's Talk Psychological Wellness. And the woman who runs it, Nathalie Caldera, is absolutely amazing. And she helps women who have anxiety and are overcoming things so that they can get back to being productive. One of the things that we spoke about is that you need to use the proper language in order to separate yourself from the business even further and be more objective. So that is sort of one of the things that kicked in this mindset of like, let me really separate the business from who I am. And she said things like, you know, when you talk about your business, you shouldn't be talking about my business is my baby. It's not your baby, it's your business. And when you and I spoke and you said, well, are you, you know, that's great, but are you also, you know, setting yourself up as a client for success, and what are you doing? You know, that was like the next level. So thank you for that. And out of that conversation, here we are.
Yeah.
So I think that's another great message for people out there.
Absolutely.
Too. Great ideas can come.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that, you know, and it's easy to be in that mindset of like, oh, my business is my everything. I am my brand. But you absolutely are right. Like, you need a clear division, because ultimately, if you ever want to scale your business, now, if you want kind of your business to always be just kind of more like a side hustle, then yeah, sure, it can be your baby. But if you want this to be a scalable operation that actually can function without you, and you could potentially grow it across the world, it absolutely has to be its own entity, because babies don't grow up, right? Babies stay with us, and they're just there, and they're just feeding off of us, and they're cute and cuddly and all, but they're a lot of work. You know, like, wait a minute now. Wait 1 minute. So, you know, I don't have one yet, just for that reason. There's a lot there. Right? I have to plan for that. But you know, I would say I'm glad that you took her advice and my advice, and you've kind of implemented it for you and your business. For me, I would say I see, given the women that I'm working with and what I'm seeing out here, I think it's easy to not prioritize your business as your number one client when you lack focus. What's your purpose, right? A lot of people are like, ooh, I want to sell something, or I just want to start making money. But like, why are you doing that? There's too many people I've spoken to who I say, well, why are you doing what you're doing? And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Right? Like, you want me to define your purpose on life? Like, okay. Okay,
No.
breathe. You've got to be your own Yoda. You've got to figure it out, right? What's driving you? What makes you want to wake up? What made you start this business?
Right.
Where do you see it going, right? Like focus. Also, I think they're distractors. I think people are distractors. I think that negative people, your own self-negative hatred in your head, that voice, that evil voice who's like, girl, you can't do that, please. You
Yeah.
know, all of those, you got to cut that out. You've got to figure out what are things, obstacles standing in your way. I think also a lack of daily practice of success, right? Like creating a folder, going into the folder on a daily basis, weekly basis. Those are practices of success, right? Meditation, having mentors, doing whatever you need to do to make sure that, again, the business begins, the beginning of the day. Before we talk about anyone else, we've got to handle us and our business, right? And then also just like having proper workflow, you know, like is your desk set up for success? Is your house set up? Do you need to feng shui things, like creating the physical, you know, like physical success for yourself? So those are things that I would add to the conversation. I don't know if you had other things as well.
Wow. Yes. I mean, all of those things are super important, and those things in themselves sometimes can also feel overwhelming. So,
Yeah.
an ideal morning, getting up, stretching, breathing, meditating, looking at
Yeah.
your folder, planning your day, all of a sudden when you start to think about those things, you might get overwhelmed. Like, wait a minute, I've just added 10 things to my to-do list that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that the point is that if you make that a regular practice and a habit, that it's not a to-do, it's something that you get to do,
Yeah.
which I think is like a really nice distinction. Another one of my brilliant, friends, and I recently completed the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses class, which was phenomenal. And I was in the Tory Burch cohort, so I was in class with 33 other women who are all phenomenal. And I get the benefit of them and their wisdom and them being in the same place that I am. And one of my, dear, wonderful, creative friends, Rachel Reinhardt Jewelry, she
Nice.
said, like, instead of exercising because I have to, I get to exercise. Like, how blessed are we that we actually get to exercise? And
I love that. Yeah.
yeah. And so when you change that perspective, that also
Yeah.
opens up the flow of what you have to do. And even though it might
Yes.
seem like a lot, it's going to get you where you need to go more effectively and efficiently.
Yes. Absolutely. Words, guys. That's what she's talking about. The words that we think, the words that we say, they have power. I know some people are like, no, I call myself stupid when I'm being silly. No, no, no. Oh, and you have a part of your tribes coming out. Jean Ward.
Hi, Jean.
Yeah.
Karuchi.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nice. Thank
Jean
you.
works at Discovery, so maybe Jean
Oh,
can get us on television.
yes. Listen.
Digital Jean.
I don't have this big hair for nothing. Come on now. I'm ready, guys. Come on, I'm ready. That's awesome. Very nice. All right, so now what would you say are some just general common obstacles for anyone tuning in here in the live, or they watch this on the replay? We're in a golden age of entrepreneurship, right? Everyone and their mama is an entrepreneur now. And so this is a very overly used term, but I actually enjoy the excitement and the gravitation towards this innovation in their life. So like, what do people need to know when it comes to this journey that they're going to be embarking on, or they're currently on, and they're like, what do I call this nonsense that's like pissing me off?
I think that if you proactively make a decision to become an entrepreneur, you have to realize that there is no one path to success. And I think we all recognize that in general in our lives, but so there's no one path. And the other thing that I would say is be very careful with how you observe what other people are doing, and you want to learn from other people, and you know, you want to see their failures and avoid them. You want to learn from their successes, but you don't want to get so wrapped up into what they're doing and the race that they're running, that you try to, you know, jump onto their lane in the track, and then you're like, oh my gosh, you know, they're like a cheetah and I'm, you know, a turtle. So
Aw,
yeah,
yeah.
so, you know, I really love that phrase, like, run your own race. Put
Yes.
put the blinders on, get input, you know, get mentors, talk to people, but recognize that this entrepreneurship is a journey, yes, but I think more so than a business journey, it is a major personal journey to discover who you are. Like, this journey for me has really shown me, you know, my strengths and weaknesses, or strengths and opportunity areas.
Nice shift right there, guys. Are you paying attention? Yes, the words. Yes, I agree. Listen, as a lawyer by trade, I had to learn very quickly that, you know, nothing is really predictable in life, and you just work and you try to do the best you can do, but things will lay where they lay. And when I was studying for the bar, specifically, the bar course that I took, they used to say something that really stuck with me for the rest of my life, which is, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And that is a phrase that applies to everything. And more importantly, I would say even entrepreneurs need to really remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We are not trying to go 100 for 5 days. We're trying to go 65, maybe 75 if you're killing it, for like the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or like the next 20, 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and to do that, then that shifts how you operate, right? Do you need to stay up 21 hours a day because that's what you think it's going to necessarily get you to the next level? Probably not, because that's not sustainable. That's denying your health. That's denying other things, right? So we can't be unbalanced or in lack of harmony, in the sense of where now our business is creating other issues, right? So I completely agree. I think you've got to, yes, stay in your lane. And also, I think a lot of people, because they crave this need to succeed and they keep seeing successful entrepreneurs and, oh, this person just got, you know, $100 million, and, oh, this person just got this new podcast show and this show, you know, and all these things. And so it creates this like, oh, well, am I doing enough? And, you know, but again, are you doing enough? Are you successful according to you, right? Not according to the universe, because the universe is filled with people at all different speeds and all different avenues. So, you know, stay in your lane, focus on you. If you want to do more, then figure out how to accomplish it. Don't want because someone else has, because that also creates this like scenario of like competition. And I hate it, because we are not in competition with each other. We're both coaches. We're both client services business. It doesn't matter. You're my sister. I can help you. You can help me. There's enough in the sky for everyone, but people really struggle because they're too busy, right? Like observing, oh, this person has this. I don't have this. What? And it's tiring. It's so exhausting too, to do that, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely fall prey to that. I'm not, you know, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, I don't do that. I mean, I do that. And that's why I'm saying don't do it, because it really is detrimental. And I think that's also why you sort of need trusted people around you that you can turn to, you know, like I can turn to you and say like, Natasha, I'm really feeling behind on this. Look at all these 6-figure launches and these courses and products. And, you know, and you say to me, you go back to, well, what is your mission? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you thinking of you first? Like, and that, again, I feel like, you know, the message here might be like entrepreneurship starts in the mind. It doesn't start on a piece of paper or on the laptop. It starts in your mind. And I think in order to sustain and grow and not to be too, you know, I don't know, fruity. You really need to have that connection between your mind and your heart. Why are you doing this? And does it feel, does it feel right? The other thing I was going to say, getting back to the question that you asked, is I think as women, we do see these things, and what we need to do is also put on our business hats, right? and
Yes.
pull out that piece of paper and really
Yeah.
plan and look at your business from an
Yes.
objective point of view. So many times
Mm-hmm.
we don't do this. And I had such a great conversation with another one of my Goldman Sachs sisters yesterday,
Yes.
who, again, like, I don't mean to be promoting people, but it's awesome. So Jen
Absolutely.
Goldman, Essential Rose, she has really amazing products, but aside from that, she's just an incredible person. And I also want to say she's much younger than I am, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't always think that your mentors have got to be older, wiser people. I
Yes.
Jen is a mentor to me, and she's much younger than me. She's wiser in other areas of her life than I am. So
Yeah.
she's really great. So she took a step back from her business and she started looking at really a lot of details. How much is my product? What is the,
Mm.
cost per unit? What do I need, how many
Mm.
units do I need to sell in the next 6 months in order to be profitable? And she had been going along in her business for a couple of years, and while she sort of had a general
Yeah.
idea of things, she never really put it to paper and detailed it out. And once she did, her level of
Yeah.
confidence skyrocketed, because she said, oh,
Mm.
it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
Yes.
It was like a brilliant insight, and I think a wise observation of
Mm-hmm.
her business.
Absolutely. The clarity, right? It always comes down to clarity, purpose, and also breaking steps down. Like, I'm a Virgo, I'm a planner like you, right? Like, I love a checklist. Right in front of me is a checklist for this program, right? Every time I do something, wait a minute, where's my checklist? Like, I'm all about the checklist. I'm the checklist girl, right? Like, that's my thing. And, yeah, when you break things down into checklists, into steps, you're like, I can write that book, right? If I write 15 minutes a day for the next 6 months, get it edited, right? Like, everything breaks down into steps, and people who don't really sit down with themselves and do this, then they feel like their goals are unachievable because it's too big, right? It's not touchable. You can't pull at it. But if you pull and you break it down, you're like, well, I can do these next 20 steps over these next 6 months, and I can get it done, right? And so absolutely, seeing the vision and seeing the actionable steps you need to take to achieve it is how you actually make successful decisions and actually follow through with them.
I was going to ask you, for some people who might have trouble sitting down with themselves, because yes, like, that is what you need to do. But what would you suggest to people that even have a hard time getting themselves to sit down with themselves? Like, what would you suggest?
Interesting. So I think, I'm writing, to be a part of this anthology. And, one of the questions is kind of like, what makes you successful, or what do you do? And I think that ultimately people make time for what they want to do. Right. And so if someone says they want clarity, they want to get their life right, all this stuff, but then they can't find a way to sit with themselves, whether it's sitting in a pool and like, kind of thinking or meditating or, talking into a device. Some people don't want to do the hand thing. They have to do the verbal thing. You've got to find a method where you can get in tune with yourself. And if you never find that moment, all that means is that you don't want it enough. Because if you want something, you go and do it. When you need to get your hair done, you get your hair done. When you need to take money out from the ATM, you do it. When you got to go to Starbucks, you'll go out in the frickin' storm and you'll get your frappuccino. I don't give a shit about rain. I need my goddamn coffee, right? Like, people will bug out, and they will listen, when it's Black Friday, they will kill somebody for a toy. You know what I mean? Like, people will bug out when they want to bug out. But when you're not hungry enough for yourself, when you're not willing to do what you need to do to be successful, then what's that saying about yourself? What's that? You're not loving yourself enough to do this. So whether you've got to write, you've got to talk, maybe you need to bring people in on the process. Maybe you don't want to do it by yourself. Maybe you need to bring mom or cousin or these two friends. But what is your method for you to get in tune with what do you need? What do you want, right? You have to always start from a clear purpose, clarity of what I want. And whether maybe it's not a business, maybe you thought you want a business, but maybe you really want to invest and you want to invest in something that's already existing. Maybe you want to get into real estate. Maybe you want to become a speaker, but you've got to figure it out, right? And the only way is to just say, I always say, give yourself deadlines. I think that that's key, because I know that it stresses some people out, but again, we need autonomy. Because like I can say I want to go to the moon, but if I never say when I want to go to the moon, chick, you're not going to the moon. Like you, you know, no, you're good. So deadlines, you know, you gotta set deadlines and make them reasonable for you. Also, I think people overestimate what they can do in a day. And it's okay. I'm an overachiever too, so my checklist for the day is usually like 35 items. It's my husband looks at my calendar, he's like, this is nonsense, this is crazy. Natasha, you have 12 things to do in 1 hour. Like I'm like, oh, I gotta do it, you know. And it's like, relax, chick, sit down, have some water, you're looking crazy. But I'm like, no, I should make it. I can do this. Like, relax. But, you know, the point is to want, to be hungry for you, you know? So with that, I'd love for us to share some resources. What do you think are the best resources that are helping you prioritize your business, learn more about your craft and what you do?
Resources is such a great thing because it's practical advice, which I'm always, you know, promoting. One of the things that I use that I love is a simple calendar. I use BusyCal on my computer and on my phone, and anything that I have to do, I have to have that appointment on my, otherwise it doesn't get done. Or because like you, my to-do list is, you know, 35 check boxes long every single day. And if I don't have it scheduled in, and, you know, part of my business is doing a lot of talking to, you know, experts. And I like to give that a lot of time because it is so important. And it is something that I love. I love connecting and talking to people and really hearing their stories. So it's super important that I sort of have a schedule and stick to it. So that's my number one tool. I also am super organized on like my files, and I try to have everything electronic. So I have, or that's such an old school electronic. I try to have everything organized. And I use Google Drive now. So because I'm starting to bring a couple of people onto my team in order to help me, I delegate. So all of this has allowed the you know, the organization to grow. I also love to use Slack so that I keep my email box a little bit cleaner. I'm all about cleanliness and simplicity when it comes to communications. So those tools I find are my top three, you know, Slack, Google Drive, and the calendar. And, you know, it's clarity of purpose too. Like every day, what do I need to accomplish and why? And the things that are not top priority need to be pushed to a later date. And it's okay. It's okay to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. For me, I live by my calendar. So, you know, I'm all about Google Calendar. Hello, Google, if you're watching, I love you deeply. The love is real. So Google Calendar, that's like my best friend outside of Khalil, my husband. And then listen, from law school, I take, you know, what I need for my life to be better. So I love a legal yellow pad where I like, even though I have my calendar and tells me everything, I still reiterate, because again, there's things in your schedule that you need to do versus things that you want to do, right? And things that you must do, like the like red fire, gotta get this done first 5 hours of the day kind of thing. So separating, right? What are the first 5 things I absolutely need to do, and getting that done, right? And then, you know, every time I do, I like I love the process of like checking it off and just like, yes, like, yes. And also, you know, yeah. And then also I begin the day with a gratitude list. I begin, the first thing I do before talking to the dog, the husband, anything, I like think about, you know, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for, you know, because waking up is a miracle. It's a blessing. People are dying wishing that they had one moment of life. So, you know, it would be very, very callous for me to wake up and be like, ugh, of course I woke up. No, it is a blessing and a miracle. So thank you. What am I grateful for today? Right. And then beginning and going through everything. And, you know, I find also, just a tip for me, I think that sometimes like with my brain, if I get up around the 4 or 5 time period in the morning, I don't know, I think it's just a quieter time in the day and there's like less birds and less things happening. And so it's just easier to like, you know, no, out here in Long Island, these birds are, listen, they have, yeah, they are in there. They are living their best life. Out here in Long Island, they live their best life, and they talk to each other so loudly. We're like, are these birds? Like, so I like to find a time when the birds aren't living their best life so much, and so I can like, okay, focus. And you know, books are big for me. I've been an avid reader since the age of 6. So everything from, I wrote a couple of names down, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Read this book, guys, if you want to understand what the law of attraction is and how to apply it for your life, for your business. Read The Secret. Create or Hate by Dan Norris. Content Machine by Dan Norris. He's phenomenal at breaking down really simple concepts as to, am I doing what I need to do, or am I sitting here hating on somebody else? Am I moving forward with my content? Am I making the best content for my Facebook page, for my YouTube? If not, what the hell do I need to do, right? And just really giving you what you need as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, because as if anyone's a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, he says it really simple and it's super true. People think, oh, I'm in the business of a boutique. Oh, I'm a coach. I'm an author. You are a content creator and you are an author. You're a content creator and you have a retail store. You're a content creator and you sell houses. Like, your content creation is a part of your business strategy. And if you don't understand this, you don't know what you're in the business of, as he likes to say. So understand, how does being a content creator mean for me? How am I utilizing this various social media and ways of creating content, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a blog, right? What are you doing? Another really good book, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, MD. If you struggle with loss, if you struggle with transition, it's because you haven't read this book or you haven't applied this book, because this book will get your life right. I read this and I was like, oh, never again, Natasha. Never again. Transitions are a part of life. Stop fearing them, embrace them, or you will die and you will have no cheese. Read the book if you don't know what I mean. Read the book. And then also what I like to, now I'm calling it kind of the holy trinity of life, which is, you know, mind, body, soul, right? Like, how do I have harmony in my life? I have to feed, I think I told you about this, mind, body, soul every day. That's success for me. If I'm doing that, if I'm effectuating content within those 3 categories, like, yes, 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 like all day, every day. So, you know, spiritually, I'm all open for everyone, loving whatever God, not God. Life is too short not to, you know, embrace whatever you need. But, oh, Kellyanne. Okay, yeah, I'll add the book titles again at the end. Yeah. I'm a fan of Joyce Meyer and Stephen Furtick. These people give me life in their evangelism. And for me, it moves me. But, you know, if you're Hindu, if you're Jew, if you're practicing Judaism, if you're practicing Muslim religion, figure out who your spiritual leaders are and get on that. Feed that soul, feed that mind, feed your body, watch what you're eating, move your body. All of those things help essentially us be better entrepreneurs.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Wow. Go ahead.
You're like, girl,
you said it all.
Do you have book titles as well? If so, please add them to the comments so that you know, when we're done with this, I'll add my book on.
Okay. Yeah, Strengths Finder, I feel like is a really great resource because it really helps you to really focus in on what your strengths are as opposed to trying to overcome your weaknesses, you know, play to your strengths. I really love that message. And I
Nice.
definitely have a bunch of other books that I can recommend as well. Um,
Perfect. Yeah.
One of the things that I want to say that I'm grateful for, I don't know if they're still watching or not, but one of the women that I worked with such a long time ago when I was in finance, she's live watching. Lorraine, hey, shout out, girl. I don't know if you're there. And then
Nice.
Brendan Lally, who is in the same industry as my husband. They're in fire alarm. So he's a super cool dude, immigrant from Ireland, who is a huge success story. Lots to learn from him too. So lots of great people here. I'm so excited to see everyone. Hi.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. 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 And what was I going to say? And I was going to say, from your experience in you know, working on the journey of prioritizing your business, how would you say, what has been one benefit that you've just like practically seen, even if it's just one day or 1 week of the effort? What have you seen?
In practicing some type of like meditation, let's say in fact, you know what, let me talk about meditation because I
Okay.
actually have been trained in transcendental meditation. My husband and I
Wow.
both attended that together, and I really do believe in it. It's something that you really should be practicing twice a day for 20 minutes. I do not do that, but it is my goal. I do meditate quite often and regularly, and it does clear away some of the garbage that I am very prone to taking on. I'm somebody who, you know, I feel hard. I am so empathetic to different people, and I take on a lot of people's energy, and I think it tires me sometimes. And especially the fact that I'm always talking to other people, I really need that, you know, that meditation and that quiet time to sort of decompress and get rid of the stuff that does not serve me. So that meditation practice, even though it's not as regular as I would like it to be, it is something that is very much a part of my life, and it has given me clarity, and it has also opened up, I believe, the connection of my mind and my heart, because I live so much in my head. And yet I know that I should be more guided by my heart or my gut, however you want to call it. And sometimes like that, you know, that pathway is blocked. So meditation allows that to open up so that I can really use everything about myself to be more, you know, successful. And you spoke about it before, like, what is your definition of success? You know, I think so much that we think, well, it's financial success. Why should it be anything else? But I've recognized that there is a much broader definition of success, and that can also change over time depending on, you know, your situation, your life. So
absolutely, yeah. And you know, it's interesting because our media, I think, is skewed in this way, right? Our media doesn't pump out stories about like, oh my God, this person just, you know, saved 100,000 people. And then, you know, if they're poor, it's like, oh, that's cool. But like, oh, this person made, you know, $1 billion. This is like, you know, the creme de la creme of everything. And I get it, right? Because what does money really mean in our society? It's the two #1 important things. Me and my husband were just talking about this: time and money, right? And like, you can't get more time, right? But you can get money. And what does money do? Money buys you time. So ultimately, the real #1 thing in this life is time. And so money affords you the options to say yes when, you know, you might normally get a no. Money affords the opportunity for really great philanthropy, right? You're really able to build a school when you have the money. When you're able to create water systems in third world countries when you have money. It's not, you know, lollipops and sunshine that's making this happen. It's actual hard hard cash. You know, I think that that's money is a part of the success formula, right? That we're all trying to formulate for ourselves, but it's not the only thing you can go after, because it won't serve you fully, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately money is getting you something else. So it's a bridge. Money is a bridge to something else. It's
Absolutely.
never in and of itself a destination.
No.
And so I think that that's important. And I think entrepreneurship, you know, people are like, oh, you're just doing this to make money. No, again, it's making money doing, right, the bridge for something else, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's important. For me, I would say a practical impact of prioritizing my business and prioritizing my health and my life first before anything else, I would say, is I've seen that I have actually more time than I thought. By being in a mindset where I was, oh God, I got to wake up and this person's social media and all these client, you know, needs, but without first focusing on, well, what do I need? What do I need to do? I actually created more time in my schedule. I created more strategic things that I could do to gain more time to do things. So I achieve more by focusing on me first. And I think that that's counterintuitive, but try it. Try it, and you shall see.
Yes, I like that. And be bold about trying it too. Don't, you know, women, and I'm overgeneralizing, I understand that, but a lot of times women feel like they need to know what the result is going to be before they do anything at all. You know, don't do that. You're blocking yourself. Try something, and you know what? If it doesn't work, it's not failure, it's information, and do it better the next time. That's all. You can only improve, and don't give up. Keep trying.
Exactly. And that's why also, like, and I've been trying to put out content about this as well, the idea of failure. I think it's really dangerous to tell people this like that, because it implies that there's this like fallout, that if you could do something, you can just, everything beneath you can fall out. There's no such thing as failure. It's just a lesson. It's, you know, there are more comfortable lessons and less comfortable lessons, but nonetheless, you will learn, boom, boom. Yep. You will learn. And you might not like the lesson, right? And so you will correct and pivot and adjust so that you don't have to get this lesson again. But it's a lesson. There's no such thing as failure. You try things, it works, maybe it doesn't work, but you've learned something. And if you didn't learn, try to figure out the lesson, because otherwise it's going to keep happening. And then eventually you'll have to sit with yourself and figure it out, but it's a lesson. So with that, I know we went over, so I just want people to just two things, just advice, last minute advice for entrepreneurs or people thinking about this journey. What would you have wished someone had said to you before you embarked this journey? And then how can people find out more about She Leads 2018 and She Leads Media?
Great. I wish that that I had really planned out the exact business rather than trying to do what I've done and try to change it from like a corporate environment to an entrepreneur. I wish I had taken a larger step back and planned something differently and approached it in a different way, and really gotten a board of advisors from day one. I think that would have helped tremendously. So, and I'm still in the process of doing that right now. So even though I've been on this journey for, several years, there's no reason that I can't take a step back and do that. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. And then just with She Leads 2018, I'm very, very proud of this conference, and it is a successful conference. Every single year, between 250 and 300 people attend. We have top experts. You're going to be speaking on our really popular Pitch the Media panel, which gives women entrepreneurs the ability to pitch themselves as a thought leader or their business, so that the media is interested in their story, and the media, like you, give very pointed advice on what you need to do to refine your story, so the media picks you up. And the reason that is so important is because women need to get their stories out into the media. Right now, it's unbalanced. We need to get our voices out there, get our thoughts, and we need to use the media to our advantage. Absolutely. So that's just like one little itty bit of She Leads, and everybody loves it. I have, superstars at the conference. I have the woman that used to be the editor-in-chief of More Magazine. She's
Nice.
going to be there. Bonnie Fuller. I have Kelly Hoey, who is an expert, and she's such a philanthropist for women. She's written a book all about networking. And there's 31 other speakers. I mean, the day is just super packed, and it's super impactful too. This is not a conference that you go, you watch these, people come on stage, you clap, they leave, you don't talk to them. This conference is, if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking for practical, actionable advice to take your business to the next level, you have to be at She Leads. And it's on October 26th. It's taking place at Morgan Stanley, which is 1585 Broadway on the 26th floor. It's going to be beautiful and spectacular. And then for anybody that wants a little bit more of a deeper experience, we're hosting a VIP event the evening beforehand for about 50 to 75 women. And it's a little bit of a surprise right now, but it's going to be something that will be unique and different, a really amazing, unique experience.
Very cool. And ladies and gentlemen, I have attended She Leads before. It's mind-blowing. It's a lot of practical knowledge. You had a woman from Facebook. You had really phenomenal speakers that really made you just sit there in your seat and you were like, I need to get my life right. Like you, you were just like, wait a minute. Wait, let me write this down. Like you learn, and the women there embrace you and they want to speak to you. So it's like a very loving space. So I really love that as well. And Adrienne is the master of like beautiful connections. So y'all don't know what's coming for you on October 26th. Y'all ain't ready. You're not ready for this. So, give them the website, and then if also people want to connect with you, make sure you give your contact information as well.
Thank you. Okay, everything can be found on sheleadsmedia.com. There's a link for the tickets where you can purchase the tickets, and my Instagram is She Leads Media, my Facebook is She Leads Media, and my Twitter is She Leads It, IT. She Leads It. So yeah, check me out there, hit me up there, like, follow.
Yes. Slide into her DM, y'all. You better, if you know what's good for you, you definitely, oh my gosh, listen, I'm so honored to be a part of this. And I think it's gonna be a rock star year, man. I'm a part of, the 5th annual Women on the Rise Forum and Expo that takes place before yours. So October is gonna be on fire. Like just, woo, burning. We are gonna rock this world. But yeah, listen, the future is female. If you didn't know, you know now. So get on board with us.
Future. She leads it.
Yes, she leads the future. Okay. Well, thank you, Adrienne. I hope you had fun.
I had so much fun today. This is great. What an amazing way to start the weekend. And I am so grateful for our friendship. You are so brilliant, and you always infuse me with such positive energy, and I just totally love that. And if anybody out there doesn't know Natasha, you have to get to know her. She's brilliant.
Thank you. Oh, I paid her for that, guys. Don't get it. No, she said that for free. It's awesome. Listen, I try to do what I do, and it's an honor and privilege to be your friend as well. And we are both women entrepreneurs trying to change the world, and it's a pleasure. I wake up, I'm so grateful and joyous to have people like you in my life and to do what I do. So thank you for saying that. It's always blesses my heart. Thank you. So have a good weekend, okay?
Okay, you too. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Bye.